going, everybody? Welcome back to the KSS YouTube channel. On today's episode, we have a really big announcement to make, a secret we've been keeping from you guys for a long time. And this announcement is the Del Sol is officially going all-wheel drive. So we've been keeping these parts for a while now. I got the full wagon driveline. I got that like in the summer. I forget, in July maybe. So yeah, just a little close-up on the drive shaft. So it's in not bad condition, just the U-joints need to be replaced on like every end. I think I'm going to rebuild the viscous, maybe not like right away when the car is rolling, but in the future I want to rebuild it, put some new fluid so I get better engagement in the rear. And here's our wagon diff. Spins very nicely, no abnormal noises, and yeah, that's going to hold all the horsepower that we throw at it. So we got the innovative Diff Mount also, and here's the top bar for it. So a really nice unit, good price. I like that it has like the red and stuff, and yeah, not too bad. So we're gonna get that mocked up. I really don't want to cut up the subframe in the back, but it has to be done. We got the fuel cell here. This is a 10-gallon Amazon fuel cell, and it fits pretty nice. I kind of had it mocked up earlier off camera just to see, and it fits in there pretty well. So I'm just gonna make some bars that go across, and then weld some nuts on them or something, make some sort of brackets, and then we can run the fuel lines. Since I'm going to be redoing the whole fuel system, I might as well do like E85 compatible stuff, because I don't want to do it 14 times. If I'm going to redo the whole system, I'm going to do it right. So that means I'm going to need a new fuel pump, new fuel filters, all in line, fuel lines. I think I'm going to get the Speed Factory fuel rail, 10 AN. So it's going to be all 10 AN, I think, feed and return, PTFE line. So if I want to go E85 in the future, I can. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to jack up the car. I'm going to do the whole rear, like the diff mount, trailing arms, axles, kind of mock up some fuel lines and stuff, like the mount for the fuel cell. So do everything in the rear first, and then I'm going to move on to other things. So I think in one video we're going to do the diff mount and all that, and then the next video we're going to do the whole fuel system. So super excited about all that. It's crazy that finally going all-wheel drive. I've wanted to do this for a while now.
One thing we got to do to get this all-wheel drive swap going is we need to drop that gas tank, because obviously our diff is going to sit there now, and our drive shaft is not going to be able to have a tunnel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop that tank right now. We started getting some of the stuff off in the inside, some of the panels there, and I'm going to take off the fuel lines. I got the connectors off and stuff, so I'm going to do everything I can do up top, mess with the filler neck and all that, and we'll get to dropping the tank. So gas tank is out. Now it's time for the diff mount. So we got it over here, the diff. Kevin's here now.
He's sorry.
And it's time to start cutting that subframe up. And we'll have to take the sway bar off and kind of do some mock-ups. And yeah, it's not going to be a fun time because I don't really want to cut my car, but it has to be done for more power, baby.
Gotta do it.
Got to be done. So let's get to it.
All right, so right now Aiden's down underneath the car. He is making some ghetto marks with, I think, the tape measure.
Yeah. Some lines here.
Yep. So we put the diff in the actual mount itself, the rear part of the mount, and so we're gonna start cutting soon with the electric grinder. And yeah, we're gonna get onto that cutting, and we will get the next shot of that.
I got a cut done. It's definitely not perfect, and it's not straight either, but it's a cut, so we're gonna start with that. I have the diff mount here. I'm gonna put it on the jack it up and kind of see what we're looking at, see if I need to take off more. I'm pretty sure I do need to take off more, but I just made a little rough cut, so we'll go from there and make adjustments as we need to. As you can see, the diff is all situated, sitting in place nicely. I think I mentioned this before, but this is the innovative kit, and I guess it doesn't come with the top bolts there in each corner, so I'll just grab a couple from a parts store or whatever. But yeah, I just had to notch out another inch on the right side from my last cut, so just notch that out. All good to go now, and she's looking good. Time to put that diff on. I just got to get bolts for the diff too. I guess it doesn't come with those bolts, but other than that, looking pretty good and ready for the diff.
So the diff is in. We got it mocked up pretty well. So you have to notch out the trunk because it obviously hits the top of the trunk pan there. So I made a nice notch there. It's just hitting a little bit on this corner, so I'm gonna make it go a bit more. And it's also kind of nice because there's going to be a bar that goes from frame rail to frame rail, and it bolts to the top of the diff, so you'll have a nice little access there to get the bolts. But yeah, I had to notch that out, and then I also had to notch a little bit more underneath, and I'll go into the car now and show you that.
So here's what I was talking about. I cut about 6 inches in the center of the subframe there, and I still need to notch it out a bit more because it's hitting the fill plug there, and I wouldn't be able to get that top bolt out. I need a bit more room. And there you can kind of see how much I cut off the top here. I don't know if you can see that very well, but I had to cut quite a bit out of the trunk to get that to clear, but it has to be done. A lot of people just bang it in, but you'd have to really like go at it because there's a lot of material you have to take off. But yeah, I need to cut just a bit more here, and it should be good. So let's get to it. So the diff is fully in place. I took off another inch on each side of the subframe, and now I have plenty of clearance for that bolt to come out. The fill plug isn't hitting anymore, and lots of clearance on that side. So we're good on that note, not hitting the trunk anywhere. So now it's just time to mock up the bar that goes from frame rail to frame rail, and I'll have to just tighten up all these bolts, get everything centered so that I can know where I'm gonna weld on each side. That's kind of where we're at right now. It's kind of hard to film under here. I don't really have a lot of room, but do with what we got. So yeah, that's where we're at. Just got to finish up this bar, and then the diff will be fully mounted in place. All right guys, so that pretty much wraps it up for this episode. We got the diff and diff mount all situated, looking good. I tacked that bar that was going from frame rail to frame rail, so it's just like tacked in place for now, and once we get it out of the tent, then I can get it on a lift and fully weld it. But yeah, now it's time to get on to the trailing arms. We got the trailing arms here. These are the ones that originally came off my Del Sol, the drum ones. And in the next episode, we're going to show you guys how to make those all-wheel drive compatible. So stay tuned for that episode. But yeah, I'm super happy that we're making progress on this thing. It's a lot of work to go all-wheel drive, but it's going to be worth it once we're dead hooking in every gear and just having fun getting PBs. So hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you in the next one.